Oh.
Okay, we are live. Monday, February 26th at 5 o'clock hasn't come. We're now officially in session for the Public Safety and Licensing Committee. Our first order of business is roll call. And all are present. Next order of business is the approval of the minutes for the January 29th, 2024 meeting.
So moved.
I have a motion, a second.
Second?
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, motion carries. We'll now move to the next order of business, which is item number 0143-24, communication sponsored by Alder Land on behalf of Matt Witt from Wisconsin Humane Society, requesting to host a large-scale pet vaccination event for cats and dogs that reside in zip code 53404. The request includes temporarily suspending ordinance section 70-90, animals prohibited to be held at Lincoln Park on Saturday, May 4th, 2024, from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Recommendation of the Board of Park and Recreation and Cultural Services on February 21st, 2024, was to approve communication that was sponsored by Alder Mary Land on behalf of Matt Witt from Wisconsin Humane Society, requesting to host a large-scale pet vaccination event for cats and dogs that reside in the 53404 zip code. Request includes temporarily suspending ordinance section 70-90, animals prohibited to be held at Lincoln Park on Saturday, May 4th, 2024, from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Is there a motion? I'm sorry, go ahead, sir. I forgot you were, please.
Well, I don't see Matt here, so, I mean, I can speak on this item quickly. So the Humane Society, this is their third year doing this, and it's worked out well at the site that we have them at Lincoln. This is coming to you basically because we have to temporarily suspend the license for having animals in the park. So that's really why it's coming to you. Otherwise, the event has been very successful. I can't tell you numbers, but I can tell you that it's been successful enough for them to keep coming back.
Okay. Were there any complaints from other people, non-animal owners or anything? No issues at all?
No.
Okay. Is there any other? Yes, sir.
Is this always, because this seemed like this was in a 53404 last year, is it always just in the 53404, or do you do them?
They determine that by, I guess, their detailed accounts of animals and things that they figure out, so I don't know why they pick a certain address.
Well, the reason why I ask, being here in the inner city, I know a lot of people don't have vaccinated cats, and
I believe that they haven't turned anybody down, even though they weren't in that same zip code.
I was just wondering if we could move these around, that was all.
Yeah.
I'm not against it at all, so, thank you.
Yes.
It was almost a similar question. I remember when this came before us last year, just wondering about that zip code, but if somebody's hosting an event, it's really to, you know, how they conduct and what they want to open it to. So
Yeah.
They probably have some rationale, which I'm not opposed to. I do see that they are expecting to serve over 200 animals that day. So that's quite substantial. Do you happen to know the numbers, or they presented how successful the last year's were?
I know the first year they did it, it was not very successful because it was a rainy day and it's outside. I do know the second year was definitely good. I do not know numbers. We'd have to ask probably Matt, because we wouldn't have that as well. We'd only be the facilitator of that park for that event.
And is this all on the expense of this facilitator, like the reach? You know, we just so happened to talk to the clerk's office right before this, the constituent came in on something they were alerted to within their zip code. Does the city do any reach for this? Is it strictly their reach?
Their
This is
reach.
just our approval, and
Right.
here we go. Okay, and it does say rain or shine, so.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions or any other discussion? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second.
We don't.
I thought you made it.
No, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion and, Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none, motion carries.
Aye.
Aye.
I know I'm-
Aye.
That's it, Jan.
I got it.
Anyone disapprove? Seeing none, motion carries. Next item is 014524, communication sponsored by Alderland on behalf of Jose Flex and Ghettos Enterprise requesting to use the North Beach Oasis parking lot for carnival rides on May 25th through the 27th of 2024, and Barker Street parking lot for staff parking overnight on May 24th, 27, 24. Request includes temporarily suspending ordinance section 7101, closing hours. Recommendation of the Board of Park and Recreation and Cultural Services on 2/21/24 was to approve the communication from Alden Maryland on behalf of Jose Flex from Gatos Enterprise requesting to use North Beach Oasis parking lot for carnival rides on May 25th through 27th, 2024, and Barker Street parking lot for staff parking overnight on May 24th through 27th, 2024.
I don't see Jose here either, so I'll be speaking on the next two items. This again is a repeat, this event is a repeat. Last year, there was a carnival on the same weekend, Memorial Day weekend. I attended that, for the most part, and it, I don't know if it was as attended as much as we wanted it to, but I think it was the first time we had it down there. So we're hoping that the second time around, that people are aware of it, second time doing it. He is aware that, there's certain insurance that he has to carry through the city because of it being a carnival. He's, prepared to, go through the city clerk's office to get the permit. We did tell him that he had to have security again. That was helpful, so that'll be there as well. And again, it's coming to you more than anything because we're temporarily suspending the ordinance for overnight parking, which will be at Barker Street. And then the carnival itself will be in the parking lot immediately behind the Oasis. And it's fenced in and everything like that as well. So that part of it went well last year. There was no complaints. Security was there, but it wasn't needed, thank God. And we hope that, again, being the second time, it'll be attended a little bit more.
That was my concern, security with these events. We haven't had them for a long time, and I know in the past, we've had some issues, and I was just hoping they had something in place.
Yep, that was one of our requests, that he had to provide that for us no matter what. Otherwise, we wouldn't have approved it in the Park and Rec Board.
Yes.
So I have a remark and then a question for maybe the attorney's office. Let me just start with that one. We approve for, they do serve intoxicants at the North Beach Oasis. And what is the parameters in which they can have those? Because I remember when it was discussed, it was a certain parameter around by Oasis. Does this exceed out of that area? Because now we're in the parking lot. I don't remember approving in the parking lot.
It's not a part of that.
Don't have the map in front of me, as to the specific area that's being requested, but if I recall correctly, it did not include the parking lot. So alcohol would not be served in that area.
So they're gonna have some type of indication that alcohol not served beyond this line.
Last year, they had staff that was at the two opening parts of the gated area, I guess you would say, that were not allowing any alcohol. Right now, you can only go from the Oasis, I think it's, I wanna say it's 50 feet or 50, I'm not horrible with that, but it's out where the,
I think I remember.
the loopholes there.
Mhm.
Yeah, the volleyball.
Okay, and then the next bit is, and now granted, we're talking to you, we're not talking to the applicant, but there is a question that they filled out here, or the question of what impact do you anticipate your event will have on the residents' business in the area surrounding the park, considering things such as noise, parking, traffic. Now, as somebody who used to represent that area, even though I still live in there, but, you know, our boundaries have changed, I'm telling you, any event down there affects the homeowners up there. And now that they're utilizing the park for rides and games and porta potties and such, you know, that now the parking gets shifted, I'm assuming, over to the parking lot that's over by Kids Cove or along the drive, I would assume. And it probably is going to filter up on the road as well. But there's gonna be, I mean, to say that their answer is this should have minimal impact to the surrounding residents. Well, I don't know if that's
I
wholehearted.
could speak on what happened last year.
Okay.
And I could speak on a couple, responses that I did get from the people up on Michigan Boulevard.
Perfect.
Now, again, we hope that this is attended more, so I can't speak maybe what changes could happen this year, but a big thing was that we didn't want it to go late into the evening, because again, we know the issues that we have on Michigan Boulevard. Music had to be the same as before, but the noise, a lot of it had to do with generators for, you know, the things that were down there that were running. We didn't get any complaints. I did get a couple people said that they had no problem with it down there, the noise was not a problem. But again, that was last year. I can't speak, you know, who knows what happens every year after that, but I didn't get anybody that came back and said they weren't happy with it. I did get a couple responses, because I knew a few people on that block, and I think we know which one you're talking about. They had no problem with it.
Okay. No, that's good to hear. You know, I like to see we're utilizing that space in different ways. It's just because it is an asset, it is a draw. But, you know, having that balance, I do see that their, takedown time or their end time is 8 PM.
Yep.
So, you're right, it doesn't go into the later hours, and by this time, we have a little bit more sun that's out. It's not completely dark.
Exactly, and that was the other part, we didn't want it to be in the evening.
Yeah. So I don't see a problem with it. Thanks for being here to answer.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you. Any other questions, concerns? If there aren't any, I'd need a motion and a second.
Move to approve.
I have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Lori Sebastian says aye.
Seeing none? Thank you. Motion carries unanimous. We next move to your next item.
Different date.
Yes, different date. Okay, I guess I should read it. It's for August 3rd. Recommendation of the Board of Park and Recreation Cultural Services on 2/21 through 24 to approve the communication sponsored by Alden Land on behalf of Joe Flex from Ghettos Enterprise, requesting to use North Beach Oasis parking for carnival rides on August 31st through September 2nd, 24, and Barker Street parking lot overnight for guests, September 30th through September 2nd, 24. Request includes temporarily suspending ordinance section 7101, closing hours. Is there, would you?
Same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing?
Yep,
Just wanted to follow protocol.
yep.
Any other questions?
Just wanna say, if the first one don't work out, can we bring this one back?
Absolutely.
I don't see, I just wanted to make sure
Yeah,
that,
the reason why we wanted to do this in advance,
I
it
get
just
it.
helps them schedule something. But yeah, if the first one doesn't go off very well and we can't make changes to it, we, as a department, Park and Rec would decline.
okay, that's all
Yeah,
I'm not
Yes.
against this again whatsoever.
Yep. Okay.
Yes.
I do appreciate this coming to us this far in advance too, and I can see it just the same application, just cross, you know, different dates written on here, but they're set up, they're just truly mirroring what they are proposing for Memorial Day, but doing it at the end of summer that I see, so, you know, I'm glad. I don't see any kind of clause in here that stops us from being able to not have them move forward, but it sounds like you have.
It's in our guidelines.
Okay.
Yep.
Sir, I thought you,
Just said, it's just nice to see these things come back. Been a long time without them, so.
yeah, it is good. Any other questions, discussion? Alder Sebastian? Okay, seeing,
No questions here.
thank you. I have a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Our next item is item number 16324, communications sponsored by myself, Alder Pete, on behalf of the...
You skipped the first one, 16224.
Sorry. Going between two papers
It's
here.
okay.
Uh,
Doing both at the same time.
16224, communications sponsored by myself on behalf of the city clerk's office, submitting a new application for a Class B public facility fermented malt beverage for Festival Park LLC, DBA Festival Hall, located 5th Street, Stacy Little, Van Host Agent, First District. And I will, if it's okay, put these together since it's basically the same, situation. Item 16324, communication sponsored by myself on behalf of the city clerk's office, submitting a new application for a Class B public facility fermented malt beverage for Festival Park LLC, DBA Memorial Hall, located at 72 7th Street, Stacy Little, Van Host, Agent, First District. Thank you. Attorney Army, please swear.
Can you raise your right hand? Thank you. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Please explain what you would like to do with the two facilities and give us a little bit of information on your background experience.
Well, I've been bartending and, in the food service industry for about 25 years now. Different catering jobs and bartending. I also work for Aurora Healthcare as of right now, but we are taking over the management contract of Festival Hall, so we will need the beer and liquor license for the establishment to bring back all the wonderful festivities that happen down there. So.
Okay. I understand that you have experience as a bartender in the industry, but obviously you feel comfortable about being the agent as well, because you will have additional responsibilities.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any questions from, yes, sir?
I assume the previous owner, or previous operator turned theirs in? What's the status of the previous operator? I understand we have a new operator, but what's the status of their liquor license?
They surrendered it a while back. They would have had to.
So they have not surrendered it as of yet. I know we've spoken to them about it. All B, it's not actual liquor, so I know that everyone's in the works with everything, so them still holding it right now essentially means that festival can still operate until they're approved. And then they'll come over and surrender it to us.
Yeah.
So they had to be surrendered first. I didn't think you could have two licenses for the same
Yeah.
facility, but if you say you can, I believe you.
Yeah, that was my concern too, because everything was here.
Should we make a motion contingent on approval
No,
once the?
It's always been that way, that they had to surrender it first before, so we can approve this as far as I know, but they will not get it until that license is
Yeah.
surrendered.
Otherwise,
Usually the process is the existing agent surrenders their license, the new agent applies, gets approved by the committee. That's generally done because they want that same license. So you have to give up that license to get something else. In this particular case, Amber's saying there's no quota because it's a small Class B. So technically, we have many of these still to go around. So they don't have to give up that exact same license for this applicant to get another license. That being said, obviously, we don't want two licenses for the same address. So we are working on getting that surrendered, but legally, this would still be able to go forward, even without that surrender.
Thank you.
yes, sir.
I got a question too. Don't they have a tavern license down there with alcohol too?
That goes through the state,
Oh, that's right.
through the public facility.
Okay. Well, then one question for so you're gonna be on there for the most part, right?
Yes.
And then the bartenders you hire, they have to have their licenses? Okay. That's the part, because in case you guys ain't there, that I worry about.
Oh, yeah, I definitely, I wanna make sure that everyone's licensed, city we're seeing, just everything has to be all adding up.
Thank you. Alder Sebastian, you have your hand up.
Yeah, so just a couple questions as we're looking at what the new contract looks with Festival Hall. I guess my question is how this fits in with the new contract, who the new contract's with, and exactly how this is. Because I know personally I've been a little bit confused. So perhaps everyone could provide a little light to me for that.
I'm sorry.
If I can answer that.
Please.
So I know the agreement is still in the process of being approved by the Common Council. I believe there's something on tonight's, one of the other agendas, not the council, but the executive committee. I can't remember which agenda it is. So I know that that's being approved separately, Alder Sebastian. So this is, I mean, they've already received approval from the council. So your question might be more relevant in that particular meeting when they're approving that particular agreement. This particular item is just for approval of the alcohol license, if they were to get that agreement approved by council. Does that answer your question?
I guess. Does that create any other questions from anyone else on this committee as well, or are we good with that?
I'm good.
I do know that the agreement is for 5K events operating as Festival Park LLC. So if that's your confusion, the alcohol license in this case would be licensed to Festival Park LLC, doing business as the Racine Civic Center, Memorial Hall, and Festival Hall.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Have you guys, I'm excited to have new management down there. Has there been any activity that you can speak of, that anything that might be going on this summer? Anybody kind of jumping on the bandwagon, seeing there's new management down there at all, or?
We definitely got a lot of inquiries. But one big one, obviously, everyone has heard, Sam Moran was back. That's one of our biggest ones, but a lot of them not really confirming anything because of the contract not being,
Got it.
so,
Glad to hear about some activity down there.
yeah.
Thank you.
Wow.
Alder Perez, you had your,
Yeah, I have a question. So, they're operating this on behalf of the city, but, and because this is the alcohol license part of it, you know, one of the biggest complaints we had before was that the prices for alcohol and, and the event itself was very high. They're projecting $10,000 in alcohol sales, $20,000 in food, and $30,000 in others. Where do we see that contract of what it's gonna cost, and if any profit that they're gonna make to be able to continue to run their company, as opposed to the limited amount of money that we gave them? Is that a different discussion that's happening, or is that related to the license itself? Because there's no information on the information we have today that talks about prices other than what they estimate they will make, right? And the biggest complaint we had before was that the cost of alcohol was too expensive, that there was a specific caterer that had to come with the food. None of that is being discussed in any of these things. Is there a separate contract that discusses that will go before the city council? Or is that something that, because it's alcohol related now, we should probably have information on?
It would not be a part of this particular discussion. It would be relevant when they're getting approved by the council, their agreement with the city, but it's not relevant to this particular.
Yeah, but were we given the agreement with the city to review?
I don't know. I don't have that agenda in front of me. I do know there was an attachment. I didn't look at that agreement, so you would have to go to that specific meeting. I don't know what the terms of the agreement are, so I can't. It's hard for me to answer that question. That agreement is not before this committee.
yes.
I do appreciate the questions of the Alder. I think just because it's been a while since we've had a transition and a change, right? So it gives us an opportunity to kind of look and peer inside and ask some questions. My question is actually very simple. I happen to notice on the business plan questionnaire, just as, I know Alder Sebastian asked some questions, but the details in which, to answer questions is really within your business plan. So it does say that the business owner is Festival Park LLC, but it does say the trade name is Festival Hall, and then it crosses out, and Paul P. Harris Rotary Park. Is there a reason for that? It's just now going to be Festival Hall for this one application, and we're getting rid of the Rotary piece of it?
We're not getting rid of the Rotary. I think we had somewhat of a discussion of what the address is for that place. It's supposed to be Lake, which would be the Rotary, Hall, or Rotary Park, and then Festival Hall, which is, Fifth Street. I think it just, we fill the whole place, which we're gonna call it Festival Hall for the applications. I think that's why we kind of went down to that. We definitely, advertise it a lot on our new website and everything. So, I mean, that's a big part of Festival Hall, which is the Rotary.
And I see it was handwritten in when it talks about the square footage of the premise that's gonna be licensed, and I see that is, captured in there, but it's written, the park is written, so just that piece, I know it was, it was a big deal when that was being deemed that name, so I didn't know if we are dissolving that with the new management, and these applications are the start of that change and, ridding of the Rotary Park piece of it.
Absolutely not, no.
Okay. And I think, you need to, if you're gonna hold events and, to come before us and, requesting this, it makes sense. And, we should probably go forward so you can, start getting those events in and having them. So with that, I'll make a motion for approval for both of them.
Second.
I would like to
We have a
second.
motion and a second. Thank you. Is there any further discussion? We have a motion and a second. No further discussion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Good luck.
And this is approved at council next
Yeah.
week.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, and we actually are up in 303 right now for the Finance and Personal Committee right now, so.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Our next item is item 015524, communication sponsored by myself on behalf of the city clerk's office, submitting an application for a change of agent with a Class B fermented malt beverage license for Green Golf Partners LLC, DBA Washington Park Golf Course, which is located at 2801 12th Street, Timothy Burkhart, agent, 3rd District. Hello, sir.
How you doing, sir?
Thank you. Thanks for coming. Alder, Attorney Aaron.
Would you raise your right hand? Thank you. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, sir. Would you please explain to us what your intent is? Tell us a little bit about your experience in the situation. We'll start
first of
there.
all, it's good to see you guys again. I'm back again, second time, doing the same thing I did at Johnson Park, which I'm doing for Washington Park now. So basically, same experience, done it for 25 years, been managing the GM, running food and beverages, and running golf courses. So I have a great deal of experience in the alcohol side and the liquor side and whatever it may be. So, pretty simple, but I want to come back and see you again for a second time.
We appreciate it. Any questions, sirs?
I just wanted to say I have no issue with this at all, and it's nice to see repeat customers.
Yeah.
In the last month or so, by the way.
Yeah, it's, there's a little communication problem, probably by me.
No problem. Alder Perez or Alder Sebastian, do you have any comments? Alder Peterson?
Nope, I work for him, so I'll be.
None
I didn't
from
mean
me
to put you on
either.
the spot. Okay, thank you. I'm looking for a motion then.
So, move to approve?
I have a motion, is there a second? A motion and a second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you, motion carries.
Thank you.
Abstain.
Oh, I'm sorry. Of course. He just said he worked for me. Thank you.
I will be in on
Abstain.
Thursday, is that okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Tomorrow's
We'll be
good.
there.
I have a couple questions for you, so we can go over that. Thank you for everything, I appreciate it. Everybody have a great evening, thank you.
Thank you also.
Yep.
Item number 15624, communication sponsored by myself on behalf of the city clerk's office, submitting a renewal application for amusement center, license CEC Entertainment, Inc., DBA Chuck E. Cheese is located at 5612 Durand Avenue, Paula Zesto, agent, 14th District.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so because they are a renewal, it is not required by ordinance that they come to committee, just the item is approved via committee and council.
To approve.
Notice, I have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Our next item is 012624, communications sponsored by myself on behalf of the City of Racine Police Department for the license premises report. Sir?
We have a waste tire.
Yep, you passed one up.
I did?
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry, I went from 100, okay, sorry. I guess I was anxious. I apologize, item 124, communication sponsored by myself on behalf of the city clerk's office, submitting a renewal application for waste tire generator license, LA Tires LLC, DBA JL Used Tires, which is located at 1626 Douglas Avenue, Luis Bustau? Vista, 4th District. Wasn't required, yes.
This is the same, it's just a renewal, and it needs to
Okay.
come
Move
before.
to approve.
council.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And our next item is the police report, item 12624. Okay.
I just,
I have a, yes, sir.
yes, a Dual Bar and Grill, didn't they just have that same problem recently before this date where they didn't have bartenders on staff?
That may have been prior to me getting into this position, but, you're talking about the one where they they were given citations for not having licensed bartenders?
yes,
Is that what you're speaking of?
yes. It was on February 3rd, and I thought they were here recently, and if they were, I want to call them in, because they should know better.
That may very well have been prior to my being here.
They did have a violation, several months back. I can give you the exact date.
And I think it was,
Issue a formal expression of concern at that time, if I remember correctly.
That's not what I find out.
So I would like to, I threw my hand up if I may.
okay.
Go ahead, please.
So from what I
Alder Sebastian.
understand, you need one licensed bartender on staff to represent the rest of the bartenders, from what I understand. Is that correct?
Well, it depends on whether the operator, the person with the license, is actively and immediately supervising the people serving alcohol. So for example, if you have one person on staff who has an operator's license, but they're downstairs doing paperwork or they're upstairs doing something else, and they're not watching the people serving alcohol, that's not immediately supervising the pouring of alcohol, and that would be a violation.
Correct. So would this possibly be in a moment where this was a timing issue, or was there just nobody on site at this moment with a license?
Doesn't sound from the way that I read the call for service that there was anybody on site that had a valid license at that time.
Well, and that's clearly a violation.
Yep, and that's why they were cited.
Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure it wasn't a timing thing, for example, in businesses, if you're, obviously we all look over things. However, if there's a moment but no one on site, I completely agree that that's an issue.
Yes, they made, if I remember correctly, they made contact with both Both bartenders that were working at the time, and neither one of them had a valid license.
Heard.
Well, that was my question, was whether or not they actually had a valid license that they didn't have on them, or they didn't.
From what I read in the information that's
All right.
given to me,
Because I believe in the past, they've gotten tickets for not having it physically on them, where come to find out they were actually licensed. So I'm just curious where we're at on this one.
as far as I know, they were not licensed at all.
Okay, thank you.
That's my knowledge.
Any other questions?
I'm just
Yes,
waiting
sir.
on the city attorney.
My internet isn't connected, it's not working. I'm trying to do that from my phone to see if I can pull up the last time they were called in. Yeah, a few other moments here.
I mean, if you can't get it, I would say, can we hold this one item over to the next meeting?
Well, we can always use it against them.
Yeah, but,
Well, typically this committee calls anyone in when there has been a violation,
yeah.
especially when they've been issued a citation. So, you can certainly wait, or you can call them in now, that's up to the committee.
I mean, I would say
Sebastian, did you have
whether
another-
it, but,
Go ahead, please.
no, I would just say, these are the types of things, and I'm gonna go back to, it's our responsibility to, as business owners who operate these things, to keep those things on mind. I don't think it doesn't hurt to call people in. I mean, as I feel as though that we found is having that open discussion with them is a really good idea, and I find it to be effective as we looked with some of our other people that we've called in. And again, this is just a thing. It's not okay. It's not right. We shouldn't, but I think a good discussion would be had, so we make sure that it does go right.
I do have that information. It looks like they were called in October of last year. They had the similar issue, and the person was cited, and they were called in front of this committee.
I guess I want to I make a motion that we call them in.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to receive and file the rest of the,
I have a motion. Do I have a second to receive and file the rest of item 12624?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those, any further discussion? If not, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Last item on the agenda then is 017524, communication sponsored by myself, requesting any consideration, any formal expression of concern or other actions pursuant to a police report, other than what we've already.
And that was a question I guess I was gonna ask,
Yeah.
so would we have made that a formal expression of concern? 'Cause
Yeah.
okay, 'cause that's, 'cause I
Yeah.
didn't word it that way, I just
Yeah.
wanna make sure.
Whenever the committee makes a motion to call someone in, the city clerk and I both assume that you're calling them in, producing a formal expression of concern, because that is what the ordinance requires. So that is how we log it, unless you need something else.
Less than 4 months later, again, that's something.
Do you need it under that certain, agenda item? So
Would it
should
be-
you want us to redo it for the record?
So when you guys do it, because we take up kind of the both items at the same time, I take note of it and I put it under that item for you.
Okay.
So the only thing I would need is, if we're not calling anyone else, is an approval of this item to get that onto the council agenda.
Okay.
What you said, so moved.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
You got your hand up.
Yes. Alder Sebastian.
Oh, no, that was from before. I apologize.
Okay, thank you. Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. We are officially adjourned.
May I ask, before we officially adjourn, can I bring up a new business item real quick?
Keep it on the
No.
agenda.
I'm told that we can't do that.
Okay,
You can
no
talk
problem.
to, Chairman Pete.
We can talk, but it's unofficial.
Well,
Okay, no, then I'll, So New, would
not
it be
now.
best that I
Yeah, not
sent
now.
out? Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye.